And if you'll identify yourself, sir. Let's get you up here so we can, so the speaker knows how much time he has. And for now, we'll let you occupy that seat right there beside Senator Buckner-Webb. Welcome to committee.
Chairman Getty, Chairman DeMordaunt, members of both committees, my name is Alan Dunn, and I find myself representing the IESA this morning. I assumed I was coming over to speak to you just as a representative of our Board of Trustees, although our board does support all of the components that the IESA is proposing. Our district is just under 1,600 students, Sugar-Salem School District. We have approximately 200 staff members. I'm here today to testify on behalf of our Board of Trustees. I would like you to consider two issues this morning in my short time of speaking. First, that our district has successfully implemented what we have heard in the past called a pay-for-performance plan, which has helped every school in our district to be in the top quartile of both growth and excellence. The plan from each of our schools includes state ISAT and IRI goals, as well as local end-of-course assessments. The monetary rewards provided by you help to motivate us to greater increases than we have ever before seen. By the time our students graduate from high school, they are ranked in the top 10 out of 113 school districts. For all three major subjects, language, math, and reading, we encourage you to consider continuing a plan similar to the recent pay-for-performance plan that provides us with funding, some guidelines, and local control of those funds so that our trustees can continue the plan we currently have in place. Our trustees support a 3% increase in the base funding over and down on the salary schedule, and then funding and control to operate a viable pay-for-performance plan. Secondly, they want you to know that our district is second from the bottom in regard to our ability to raise supplemental levy funds. We have cut in every area from athletics to classified staff. Our teachers vacuum their own rooms. Our custodians do almost all of the building cleaning and restoration because we are tremendously frugal. I myself clean the district office, and that includes the bathrooms. Because I'm not going to ask teachers to do something that I don't do as well. We've cut salaries, raised insurance costs, cut school budgets to the very bottom, and raised fees to participate in extracurricular activities. The point of these statements is to persuade you to help us continue this frugality by allowing us the local control of the number of teachers we have and still be allowed to receive full state funding. You know this as use it or lose it. That's tremendously important to us. It equates to almost $300,000 that we saved last year that we used to keep in our budget and keep our district afloat. Without those use it or lose it funds, and I recommend that we have full flexibility in that, even though we recognize we want to have small classes. We appreciate your time today and the opportunity of addressing this joint session of the House and Senate committees. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I think we're ready for the public, and I'm going to call off 4 names, and then I'll start calling off other names, and the first seats down here are open. When you come to the podium, if you'll state your name and who you represent. Start off is, I believe it's Max Keller, and then Don Keller, Curtis Marshall, Zach Parker. There are chairs available for those 4 down here. Is Max Keller here? He may want to use the microphone to the side of the podium. And there's a slide to slide up. There it is. Welcome to the committee.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Max Keller. Hi, my name is Max Keller. I live in Boise. I attend to Sage International School. I go to Sage because teachers care about us. We have a problem, they help us and fix it. I hope more kids go to schools of choice. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Keller. That's very good. Don Keller. Welcome to the committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Senators, Representatives. I just want, for the record, to say I will not be as elegant of a speaker as that gentleman before me. My name is Don Keller. I'm a parent. I'm a charter founder, school administrator, and board member of the Idaho Charter School Network. I would like to highlight for you today a few substantial obstacles that charter schools face currently and address why recently charter school growth in Idaho has stalled. I hope all of you have had a chance to read the two reports, Idaho in Focus and the facilities report that was put on by the U.S. Department of Education and the Colorado League of Charter Schools. In these reports, and if you don't have a copy of them, please let me know and I will make sure that everyone gets a copy of both reports. I just kind of wanted to point out, in this report, some of the key findings. There's 44 charter schools in Idaho, and that's about 18,500 students. That actually, if you make the charter network a school district, we're one of the largest school districts in Idaho, serving children all across Idaho. Some of the key findings are Idaho's public charter schools spend operating funds on facilities, while traditional public schools do not. Charters do not have access to local facilities, financing resources, and Idaho charter school facilities are small compared to industry standards. There's a lot of students here today that will testify they would really like to have a library, a gym, and a lunchroom. These reports overwhelmingly state the difficulty that charter schools face currently and why charter school growth has stalled. Many of the high-performing charter schools currently in operation would like to grow and replicate, but the current funding landscape makes that extremely difficult. In addition, as Idaho charter schools try to grow, facility challenges may get worse. More operating funds may be needed to address facility issues, and the growing number of charter school students may not benefit from the quality facilities that other public schools have come to expect. In closing, Idaho has a great opportunity this year to address the funding gap between traditional public schools and charter schools. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you, Mr. Keller. There's chairs available for Katie Bush, Greg Bush, and Keith Donahoe. I'm sorry, not Greg Bush, Graham Mill or Hill, I'm not sure. If I butcher names, please excuse me. Next up is Chris Marshall. Welcome to the committee, Mr. Marshall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. My name is Chris Marshall from Boise. I'm representing parents of Sage International School. When we arrived from the UK 3 years ago, my wife and I came here. Sage was a new school. It was untried, unproven. As an American-born but British-educated person, we were eager to try the established traditional American education system. However, Sage offered something different, a slightly more international bias, and coming from the UK, that naturally appealed. However, 3 years down the line, we could not have dreamt of how the school has developed and blossomed thanks to the passion and drive of the teaching community and of Don Keller's leadership. Sage is delivering so much more. We actually have 2 boys that really do want to go to school every morning. That's quite unique, certainly from our experience. The quality of teaching is fantastic. The desire is infectious. I do have concerns, though. As Don just mentioned, funding is truly, truly tight and restricts how far the children can be taken. Importantly, that funding challenge means that every year there are many, many children who don't get the opportunity of such a wonderful free education. As the CEO of an international organization based in Boise, I so want more and more children of the city to experience this education, to be trained and developed for life in the 21st century. Our company is actively engaged in supporting Sage and working with students. But ultimately, Boise itself has to decide if this quality and vigorously forward-thinking education style is for us. Without it, I believe Boise would suffer. I am trying to attract talent to our company from all over the United States. And one of the first questions I am always asked by potential recruits is, what about the education systems in Boise? Business growth depends on educators like Sage. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up is Zach Parker. Welcome to the committee, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, Education Committee members, thank you for providing this opportunity. My name is Zach Parker. I've been a school teacher for 9 years. 6 of the last years I've taught at charter schools. I have 2 children who someday will be in charters themselves. Lately, I've followed with some interest the news that a series of bills have been introduced this week in your representative committees dealing with the teacher school board labor matters. I want to make you aware that you have examples of public schools in Idaho which prove, in many respects, that the provisions contained in those proposals work and will continue to work. As most of you know, Idaho's public charter schools have a little more freedom and flexibility to be innovative with educational delivery models. But charter school board administrators and teachers also have more freedom and flexibility to manage their day-to-day operations because they're not bound by the shackles of master labor agreements and inflexible labor contract issues. In a business where as much as 85% of costs are for the human capital necessary to deliver the education to our children, and in a time where education budgets have begun to shrink, all school boards and administrators need to have more flexibility to adjust and react to those changes. Charter schools serve as an example of how that flexibility allows a school to be more nimble in changing dynamics. So how does this flexibility work in real practice? Our school, SAGE, we have created a collaborative time each week that allows for genuine support and staff development that in turn helps create a culture of flexibility and autonomy, both of which are key for the success of teachers and of the students themselves. Charter schools are proportionally more greatly affected by cuts to the state education budget. On average, 90% of a charter school's budget is based on the per pupil allotment that comes through the state funding formula. So in many cases where tough decisions need to be made, even in the middle of a school year, charter school leaders have the ability to bring all their staff together, review the situation together, and collectively settle on a solution. The teacher school board labor bills introduced this week in your committee will be a significant step toward allowing local districts the ability to truly manage their schools. Idaho's charter schools serve as a good example of how this can work. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Katie Bush. Welcome to the committee, Ms. Bush, and you can pull that mic down a little bit.
Thank you. So my name is Katie Bush. I attend Sage International School, and my school was overcrowded, and my old school was overcrowded, so it was hard for me to learn. I couldn't think outside the box, but now at Sage International, they challenge me and stretch my learning. I don't think it is fair that public schools get more money than charter schools. I see no reason for us to get less money. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Graham, is it Hill or
Hill, yes.
Very good. Welcome to the committee.
Yes, thank
And
you.
while he's speaking, Brian Moore and Pete Peterson, welcome to the committee, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Thank you for letting me address you today. My name is Graham Hill, and I'm a 9th grader at Sage International Charter School, just a few blocks away here in Boise. I've been to 3 different schools in the past few years that I've lived here, each with very different environments. The first school I was enrolled in was the local elementary I was zoned for. I was never satisfied with simply learning out of the book, thinking in someone else's box, and having the box closed shut. This conventional public school never fit my needs properly, but fortunately now I'm at Sage International School. After I went to the elementary school, I went to Answer Charter School, which is another excellent charter here in Boise for 2 years. And I'm now at Sage, which is on its way to becoming certified in the International Baccalaureate program for high school. And I've come to realize that somehow motivated people like the Sage staff that support me and my peers can do more with less. Though we do well at Sage with the resources we have, I still believe charter schools deserve funding equal to the conventional public schools. After all, charter schools customarily produce better test scores, higher grades, and higher rates of college acceptance than our conventional counterparts, and with about 2/3 of the funding. I am also aware that my state senator, Brandon Durst, has said that charter schools are laboratories for innovation. So, and I couldn't agree more. So thank you, Senator Durst. If charter schools around the state were given equal funding, just imagine how far we could go and how well we would do. By giving Idaho charters equal funding, you will be better equipping the future of Idaho. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Durst, you might give him his dollar.